Welcome back, everybody. It is the Working Brother back at you with another talk yet again. Dragana is back. Dragana Trifković, welcome back. How you doing?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm fine. I'm in Belgrade still, and I will go soon in some in Bulgaria on some conference, and after this I will go again in Russia, and I will visit Crimea, and I will like to see what is the situation there.
Interesting. So you're going back to Bulgaria for a conference. I'm guessing geopolitical stuff, and then you're going to Crimea to see how things are there. We'll be looking forward to maybe getting in contact with you when you're there, so you can give us a report. That would be interesting. I actually wanted to go to Crimea, and I actually wanted to go to Mariupol last time I was there, but I was stuck in Donetsk because, I only had limited funds and limited time. But Crimea seems like a nice place to go.
Yeah, Crimea is
think?
a very nice place. Yes, I like Crimea very much, and usually I visit Crimea 4 or 5 times every year. But since that Corona started, I didn't visit Crimea. But I'm very glad that soon I will be there again.
Um, Now that you're I can say a regular almost here. Like, this is a comedy show. We talked a little bit between the recordings. You're enjoying this format. How do you feel about the fact that aliens have been released? Like, I never thought I'd be talking about aliens on this show, but now it's officially released. This is, by the way, Nancy Pelosi as an alien. Um, aliens have been declared official by the Mexican government. How do you feel about that?
I didn't care for this. Sorry, but
Oh,
I was
really?
expecting something like this because when they finish with the story of democracy, human rights, protecting the people, they're trying to find some other topics like ecology, green energy, African poor people, and so on. So also the aliens and cosmos, it's good for
It's not
starting a
surprising.
new stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I've got some questions here that I actually had a subscriber who is Serbian, and she's into all geopolitics and stuff. And I told her that you're coming on, and I asked her if she has any questions that she'd like to ask you, and she sent me a bunch of questions, which I think are excellent questions. So let's get into some of them. Russia's position in the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan and how it affects Russian-Turkish relations. What would you have to say about what's going on now in Armenia, considering, their president is basically just like cozying up to France and being friendly with NATO and saying Russia is the biggest problem when Russia is the only one protecting him and like his people for like the last 15, 20 years? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yes, this is the true, but Pashinyan is obviously under full influence of American sector. We speak about American sector, so he's fully in the American sector and dedicated to American sector, like it was the case with this Georgian Saakashvili. Yes, the same
Yeah.
situation. So the problem is that basically not only Russia, the Iran is also supporting the Armenia a lot. I was recently last year I was in the Yerevan in Armenia. So the Russia is protecting Armenia and Iran as well, and this is very good because Pashinyan is actually trying to close the Russian military bases, to criticize the Russia all the time, and to blame the Russia for the situation. And the Russia isn't making problems there. I think the problem is American sector, but of course he is not speaking about this because he's the part of American sector. So this is the situation
Oh,
It's very hard. Armenia now because the people are supporting Russia and the people are for cooperation with Russia, but they have authorities which don't want to develop the cooperation with Russia because they're fully under control of American sector. And this is the way to create the conflict in that society. And also, what is interesting, when Pashinyan came to power, he said that he will protect all state and national interests of Armenia, but actually he is protecting more the interest of Azerbaijan because he literally gave the control of Artsakh or Nagorno-Karabakh to Azerbaijan. He recognized the Nagorno-Karabakh like the territory of Azerbaijan. Even Azerbaijan occupied some territories of Armenia, not this one, which are the part of the problem, but some other parts of Armenia. And Pashinyan is not acting. I mean, he's acting. He is criticizing Russia. So Russia is guilty. Putin is guilty for everything. Like the similar situation that we can hear in the EU. The Putin is guilty for everything because they don't have cheap gas anymore, because they don't have Nord
yeah.
Stream, and so on. So this is the crazy situation. But I think this Pashinyan and his policy has no future because I think he will finish like Saakashvili. We can see what is the destiny of Saakashvili. He has been used by United States, not only Georgia but also in Ukraine. One time he was sometime like a governor or something in Ukraine, in I think in Dnipropetrovsk, but I'm not sure. So they are using this, how to say this, dolls for playing, and not only Saakashvili was good to create the problems in Georgia, then we can use him as well in Ukraine. So this is the idea. So in the future, Pashinyan maybe will be some mayor of I don't know which city
Lvov. Lvov, because there's not going to be
in
much Ukraine left.
or in Dresden, for example, or in Warsaw or something like this. I think it's a good idea to send him there. So
By the way, for the viewers we're watching, these are Azerbaijani, I believe, protesters trying to stop Russian peacekeeper thingy coming out, and it's gonna get funny in a bit because the Russian peacekeepers are just gonna lift the car and move it out of the way of the armored personnel carrier. This surfaced the other day. I thought it was worth playing in the background. But yeah, what I wanted to ask you is, why is Iran helping Armenia? Like, why is Iran protecting Armenia? Like, how does that play out in reality? Why is that happening?
they have good relations. I mean, Iran has a very big diaspora for Azerbaijan. And I think more others are living in Iran than in Azerbaijan. This is very strange situation. But these people are against this policy of state policy of Azerbaijan. So they are protecting Armenia and helping a lot. And you can see also this influence in Armenia. I mean, Iranian influence. And also we have Israel very involved, helping Azerbaijan, like Turkey as well. The relations between Turkey and Russia are complicated, very complicated. Yes, we know that from the history, of course, but they are still complicating. And the problem is that the Erdogan is playing double games. He's playing not only double on all sides. He's playing and trying to I don't know what is he trying. He helped also supported these terrorist structures in the Syria, for example. But then he changed his positions. But I think Russia is someone who is trying to, how to say, to really
To counterbalance basically everything that Turkey is
find
doing.
the balance, yes, to find the balance, and not only the balance, to find the compromise between Turkey and Iran, which is not easy at all, and also between Russia and Turkey, and to find the balance between the different interests in between different countries. I mean, they have different goals, and this is a very hard situation.
The next question, or one of the other questions that we've got here, is can there be a direct conflict between Turkey, in brackets, a NATO country, and Israel with Russia, China, and Iran, given that Turkey encourages neo-Ottomanism and includes the Uyghurs in China and various states that are currently in Russia's sphere of influence? Turkey is also clashing with Iran, that sternly opposes changing borders in the region, in brackets, Armenia. So how would you decipher all of these little streams of influence? What do you think is actually going there?
I think what is the main problem? The main problem is U.S. foreign policy, like this bringing
Russian
the
conspiracy
democracy.
theories. Russian conspiracy
Yes.
theories. I tell you, it's Russian conspiracies from the 90s, even from the 70s.
No, in the
Russian
90s,
conspiracies.
Russia was in this process of democratization, so they didn't have
didn't have
this kind of
conspiracies.
opinion. Yes, yes. But now, for sure, this is the policy bringing the democracy with the bombs. So, or creating the conflicts or clash of civilizations of no war, no money. This is the same policy. So, I think this we cannot even say United States, because we don't know who is making decisions in United States. I'm not sure that Biden, who is shaking a hand with the flag, is someone who is making the decision. Yes. we don't know exactly who is it, but we can say these globally structures. Oh, yeah, very nice. We are for the next elections. Yes, very good. So this is, I think, the main problem is this idea to create more conflicts and to have an opportunity to control different conflicts, to be a manager of these conflicts, and to find some own interest in this. And the good situation is that the Erdogan also had experience with this situation when the US are using some politicians and supporting them, and after this, when they decided that they don't need them anymore, like happened with Saakashvili. He's now in the hospital and he's nobody now.
We
Like
can also
happened.
say Saddam, even. We can also say Saddam,
Yes, for
even.
sure. I can say with Milosevic as well, because he was also very good supported. And you remember there was in one time he was the main factor of stability on the Balkans, and after this he was the butcher and so on. So this is U.S. policy. When they need you, you are the best, and you will get a Nobel Prize and so on. And next day you can wake up like a traitor or butcher or some biggest evil in the world or so on. So the Erdogan have this kind of experience, because you know that they try to organize the coup in the Turkey. And
Yeah.
I think the Russia helped Erdogan very much. So this is like he has experience, and maybe he will try to change something in his. He's not acting good all the time. I mean, he's supported these terrorist structures and he's involved in everything. But maybe there is opportunity that in the future he will change some positions and be better for cooperation. So this is some kind of hope. But I think, when there was a situation with this Russian plane in the Syria with Turkey involved in this, and of course there are rumors that this was all organized also by CIA. But the Russians didn't act like they didn't start the war with Turkey, because it's not in interest in it's not Russian interest and Turkish interest as well. So this is a very important when you have some leaders like Mr. Putin, that he is taking care and to not get involved in this Americans' games. I mean, not to act like they will need it.
To not give in to the provocations, basically. Yeah.
Yes. But
I just wanted to draw your attention to and the viewers' attention to the fact that that plane, everybody talks about the knocking down of the plane when they try and remember everything that Turkey did against Russia, but nobody talks about the ambassador that got killed.
Yes.
Let's not forget about the ambassador that got killed in Turkey. That was I think the beginning of all those provocations. But I wanted to ask you, considering we're on the topic of Erdogan and Putin, they recently met in Sochi, and I didn't see many videos or many press releases, but I did see the video of Erdogan leaving and shaking Putin's hand and getting into the car, and he was not happy. Erdogan did not look happy there. So what do you think happened during that meeting? What do you think was Putin's warning to Erdogan?
This is probably why we don't know some details, but yes, Putin knows to be to say very directly what he means. And of course, Erdogan, he's this kind of politician, he likes to play games and not to be honest all the time or never, who knows. And I think he don't like this position to hear something what he don't like to hear. But I think the Putin has full right to say what is on his mind, especially if you know that Russia helped to Erdogan when the Americans wanted to organize this coup in Turkey. So this is probably, maybe Mr. Putin said that other countries like BRICS countries are getting together and strengthening the relations, and there is not too much opportunity to play these games now. I think in the past it was possible, but now it's not anymore. So maybe he asked him to decide what he will do. For example, in Syria, there are still problems in Syria with these terrorist structures, which one time supported the Erdogan as well. And the role of Turkey, of course, in this Azerbaijan and other also former Soviet republics. He has this idea to create again some Ottoman Empire or
Pan-Turkic.
Yes.
The Pan-Turkic movement, yeah.
Pan-Turkey, yes, right. So this is the problem not only for Russia, but also to many countries in the Middle East, Iran as well. And I think Erdogan it's necessary to be more disciplined.
And do you think this that's going on with Azerbaijan and Armenia and the potential involvement of Iran could spark something in the whole Middle East, North Africa region? I mean, considering the trend is already towards world war, and as Joaquin Flores said, there can't be a world war if Africa is not invited. So, do you think that we're gonna have is it boiling to World War III? That's the question that I'm going at.
Yes, but I hope that he understands what he is doing, because yes, we are now in the very dangerous situation. As we said, there are these globalist structures which they need some new wars and conflicts, and to evolve again some kind of manipulation, how to keep this global power. But that is why they need the mass now. And we are in the dangers. We don't need this third world war, especially now in the time of nuclear weapon. So Erdogan is playing very dangerous game. But I hope that he understands the situation and his role in this. And for sure, Russia understands. So maybe Putin directly said his opinion that Turkey is maybe someone who can start this third world war with acting like this, and maybe he didn't. We will maybe find out in the future. Maybe we don't know the details, but it is sure that the relations are very complicated between Moscow and Ankara, for example, and also the Erdogan's relations with other countries in the Middle East. Especially now when we have the Saudi Arabia and the Emirates and the BRICS, connected with the BRICS, and also very strong Iran, for example. So in some way, some different Muslim countries in the Middle East are now very close cooperating with Russia and China. And Americans are really unpopular in the Middle East, in Syria, in Iraq, everywhere. I was recently in Lebanon, for example, and I met there with a lot of people from Syria, Iraq, and other countries. And it's interesting because they are Muslims, but everyone said the Kosovo is Serbia. Kosovo will be returned to Serbia, and Kosovo will be reintegrated. So this is the situation. The United States are totally unpopular, but Saudi Arabia and the Emirates, they were the strategic partners of United States in the Middle East. But this is what was changed. They are now on the other side. Even I heard that Prince didn't want to answer to Mr. Biden. So this is really a situation that we couldn't imagine in the past, that Saudi Arabia don't care about US, and they are developing relations with BRICS and Russia and China and so on. So I think Erdogan should think about that his position is also not easy at all.
You mentioned BRICS and BRICS Plus now. Do you think that it's helping resolve world peace? Like, do you think it will become a kind of like a alternative to the UN?
Yes, for sure, for sure. I think they are asking for reforms, not only in UN, but also all these international institutions like MMF, or like International Court, the Criminal Court, like World Bank, World Health Organization, because all these institutions were corrupt in the time of when we lived in this monopolar world with US only, the biggest and the only one power, which rules all the world practically. So they corrupted all these international institutions which were built after the Second World War, like platforms, neutral platforms platforms for resolving the problems.
Neutral.
Yes, the idea was to create this neutral, but this is the
Human
problem.
rights.
Yes.
Freedom of speech. Yeah. We know. So you think that there is a potential for a new kind of structure that's emerging with this BRICS Plus. You also mentioned Kosovo, but we'll get to Kosovo in a little bit. I wanted to get this one question also sent in by the same subscriber out of the way, and it is about the Arctic. We occasionally hear about military exercises in the Arctic. Norway, US, Russia had those within the last 3 years, and Zakharova has also posted a map of the North Pole on her Telegram a few months ago. Do you think there could be armed clashes in the Arctic, and will Russia try to reclaim Alaska in the next few years?
Yes, this is also not conspiracy theory. It's possible because there are a lot of misunderstanding connected with the Arctic region between US and Russia, and this Arctic is very important for this project of this North Sea route. It's very important, and Russia is, of course, controlling this route. And the Americans want to control the Arctic, and also they are using the NATO countries to organize exercising, and they are practicing how to occupy the Arctic. But you know what is the problem? The problem is that they don't have opportunity, even if they try to take control over Arctic. They don't have opportunity to keep it because, Russians are used to live in these very harsh circumstances. When it's minus 30, 40,
Yeah.
it's not a problem. But the Americans are not used, so they don't have really military bases, for example, there. They cannot have because they can send only penguins there, not soldiers. They are not trained to do this, and this is their problem.
There's also a very technical reason why they're gonna have trouble. It's because they have only 1.5, I think, icebreakers. The Americans do, or like the collective West.
Yes.
Whereas Russia has like 7 or 8, including like 5 nuclear-powered ones. So yeah, good luck to the Americans. May the best man win. But yeah, speaking of Kosovo and a little bit of Armenia, because this guy is everywhere. I'm sure you've heard of this Gunther guy. I saw this on my feed. He likes to provoke.
Yes,
basically.
very funny guy from Austria, I think. Yes.
Yeah. Just like the painter. He's from Austria. The failed painter.
Yes.
This guy is obviously
architect, unsuccessful architect. Yes.
this guy's obviously a failed diplomat, and he goes around provoking people. He often posts about Kosovo, and lots of people have trolled him on Twitter. But we do not condone trolling here. We don't encourage it. Anyway, for legal reasons, this is a comedy show. The Russian ambassador in Serbia recently said that problems in Kosovo will be resolved in a peaceful way in the UN with a new geopolitical framework that is emerging. Do you think that it is possible, considering the Albanian behavior that is more and more aggressive every day, including last night when like 2 young guys in Kosovo, Serbs, were beaten up by police and arrested for I think he was not wearing a seatbelt. And basically the same question for Republika Srpska, and just substituting the Bosniaks for the Albanian Muslims in Kosovo. How do you feel? Like, is there a chance for a diplomatic resolution here in the Balkans within the UN framework, or do you think that we're bound to participate in the new coming world war?
You know that this so-called independent Kosovo, it's American project from 90s, and America didn't change the positions in Balkans. I mean, what is important for them to have the military bases. They have both still like the biggest military base in Europe, opened on the occupied territory of Kosovo. So this is why they need in the so-called independent Kosovo. And also they have their role in the Bosnia and Herzegovina. But the problem is when they created these problems and wars, they didn't find a way how to reach the peace and to finish these projects. I mean, it's not only concerning Balkans. You can find it in the Middle East as well. Afghanistan is maybe the best example because they invade Afghanistan because they said that they will finish the ruling of Taliban, and they finished the role in Afghanistan by arming the Taliban and giving everything to them.
I don't know. I don't know where you get your news. I don't know where you get your news. It must be like you must read RT or something. This sounds like Russian propaganda again. Like the Americans won in Afghanistan. Like didn't Bush declare that they won? They won in Iraq. They won in Afghanistan. They killed Osama bin Laden.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, for sure. We saw this. They celebrate like pushing the people from the plane. That was the
Yeah.
part of
We can hope for the same celebration in Kosovo.
Yes, I'm sure this time will happen. Will come. I'm sure this will happen because they will finish like. Evacuating from the Bonstil and the Kosovo. This is obvious. Now, what we can say, the Albanians are acting how they are acting. It's nothing new for us. They had the support of United States, but these global circumstances are changing, and I think it's not possible for Americans to finish, and they will not finish this project of Kosovo independence. In the future, they will need to organize the evacuation from Bostil, and I hope that it will be better organized than in Kabul, because in other way it will be funny as well. So this is, I think, now we can say that without for example, Russia and China and other big powers, without role of BRICS, there it's not possible to put the end on some project or to create some new states, or to, they even are not able to organize the coup anymore anywhere. We saw it in the Turkey, that was unsuccessful, in the Belarus and Kazakhstan after this, and in the Syria against Bashar. We remember this Bashar must go and so on. So this is the reality. It's not possible to create some. To change the borders, to create what they want to create, and without asking anyone. This time is finished, and I'm sure that I'm very positive. I'm sure that we will live in some really better world.
Considering you mentioned color revolutions and regime change, how do you feel about the protests against violence that are happening in Serbia? Do you think this is a thinly veiled attempt at regime change, or like some kind of political pressure? Like, what is your take on how these protests have evolved over the past, I don't know, 6 months? How long they've been going on?
This protest is started after this really big tragedy in the school. And this is something that really shaped the society here. And the people are not satisfied with the situation, with the atmosphere in Serbia Me also. But you know, the problem is that Americans don't care, of course, for tragedy, especially for our tragedy. In the past, they created a lot of tragedies. For them, it's nothing. I
Hmm.
mean, the problem is we have this colonial chief, the Christopher Hill, which is U.S. ambassador in the Belgrade now, and in the past he was very well connected with this Kosovo Liberation Army, with these terrorists. The same ambassador. So I think the problem is that they try to take control over this protest, and unfortunately this happened. So I mean, they push these some opposition political structures there, and this opposition political structures also they even understand that they know that people that don't support them. So that is why they push some actors like some I don't know, famous people from this our
From
city.
social media and film and like celebrities in general in
Yes,
Serbia. Yeah.
celebrities. Yes, yes, some actors and some other people very well known to speak, to speak there and to be like these protests. They don't have leaders because leaders are invisible.
Hmm.
These invisible leaders. I think Christopher Hill decided who there will be, and this is the people are not supporting it. But the problem for people, it's not over. I mean, they are still unsatisfied with this what is happening, and the Americans are trying just to use this protest for their own interests. So the problem
Exactly.
is that we don't have a political alternative here in Serbia, and the lot of these politicians from oppositions are just waiting for the opportunity also to serve to Christopher Hill or other American structures, and it's not also conspiracy theory because. I think last 23 years from the time of the October 5 from our color revolution, I think they fully control this region, Balkans. And after the Yugoslav war, the idea was to separate, to create small countries from one big country, Yugoslavia, and these countries will be easily controlled. So that was the idea, and fortunately, I think they succeed to do this. This is the problem, and I think when things are changing, we said on the global level, so this will uh, influence also on Europe as well, no matter how Europe's don't want. So in Serbia also, I think things will be changed, and we need a new political elites. We need a new, also the young people who want to not to serve for someone for foreign interest, but to protect the Serbian interest. This is very important.
So what you're saying is we need a Serbian Trump to put Serbia first.
I really don't like Trump too much, so
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm 50-50 about him. There's some things
I
that he says
don't
that make
like.
sense. Some things that are a
No,
little weird.
he's unusual politician. I mean, he's not a politician. Obviously, he's a businessman. Totally
Hmm.
unusual in politics, unconventional. But I don't know. I don't. My favorite American politician is Ron Paul.
Well,
He's
yeah,
very
but
good.
that's like a different level. That doesn't exist anymore.
Oh yes. Or, for example, this Paul Craig Roberts, who is also the
Hmm.
engineer, he is very, very smart, and I would like to see someone like him, like a president of US, for example.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be that lucky. Um, to go a little bit on the other side of the world island, in Mackinder's theory of the heartland and the rimland, um, Bharat, also formerly known as India. How does India's announcement of changing its name to Bharat affect the India-Pakistan-China stalemate? And is it a pointer to Bharat or India's future policies? Like, what does this mean in the whole global thing? And by the way, I want to point out that I heard your exchange with that guest that I mentioned on that TV show that you were on, with the interview, and oh my God, I like couldn't believe like the points she was making. India is a poor country. India doesn't know it's like wow. Did you get your talking points from the embassy?
Yes.
Yeah. So hat off to you for having the patience to be on TV with people like that. Russia is the invader.
No,
Tell,
for
tell,
me it's not problem. For me it's funny, for example, to listen this because yes, if you look with the sense of humor, then you have a different position because it's really funny to speak something that everyone knows that it's not true. That I don't know, Russia and China and India are poor countries, and West is very rich and so on. This stories
culturally rich.
about yes, the protection of human rights. They are protecting the human rights, and I mean they devastated the whole African countries, for example, in last decades, literally stealing their gods, France, and with this neo-colonial policy. And this is not just neo-colonial policy. This is the protection of human rights. Okay, the Africans have a right to be grabbed. Yeah, maybe this is idea. I don't know. So yes, this. I mean, I heard that they want to change the name because this India is connected with this colonial time. In this period on the England colonial regime was there and so on. I'm not too much involved in this topic. I mean, why they want to do this and so on. But I can say that, of course, the relations between India and Pakistan, for example, are very difficult. And I think the Pakistan was created by UK, Ukraine was created like anti-Russia, and Pakistan like anti-India. So it is good if you want to rule the world. You can always create some parts of countries supporting separatism, like Kosovo and so on. And in one time you can support one or other sides. It depends of your own interests. So this is the game they are playing. I mean um, already too many years. So for the India, I think that they will find some way, some like we speak about this balance on the Middle East. I think they will find a way to find the balance in the BRICS organization because the India and China, for example, the India and China also they don't have a very good relations. I mean, they have a lot of misunderstoods between them, and they have opposed interest, but they are cooperating in this. Triangle with Russia. Russia is someone who is trying to find this balance and to try to find some common interests between China and India. So this is opposite geopolitical position. Someone are supporting the clash of civilization. I mean, trying to find the differences, to deepen these differences, and then to create conflicts. And I think the Russia and the China as well, it's trying to act in opposite way. I mean, to find the common interest and to create a situation when the two countries can cooperate on the basis of mutual interests. So this is we have this kind of two different approaches.
Yeah, that's a very good way to summarize it. I just want to play a little clip from the European Parliament that surfaced today. This is Russian propaganda. This is who's taking care of Europe for you. And I want to ask.
Lady, it's very. I will say it's very nice to see, because it's good to do something useful there, and yes, really, some to sit there and just listen to a lot of stupid things. Of course, you can hear something like Claire, when Claire is speaking, you can hear something very smart and good. And in the other cases, you can just sit and listen these very stupid things, and it's better to do something useful. So I support this.
Excellent. Dragana, I'm gonna put this back up. Your upcoming movie, sooner or later, documentary film. We will definitely have you on again once it is out, so you can tell us about it. Is there anything else you'd like to mention before we sign off here?
So I'm happy that we had this conversation, and I really liked your show. Yes, it's very nice and very. For me, it's I think very good, and it's good to have fun, of course, because the people don't. The people are really tired of all these serious and very bad stories, and all this mess and all this American democracy and Western democracy. They're really tired of this, so. It is good to find a way how to present something with this sense of humor. I think it will be better for them as well, and it's good for us.
Great.
So thank you. Yes, thank you very much. I will recommend your show wherever I can, and it will be glad. I will be happy to continue to cooperate, to have this kind of conversations, and also I will be happy to recommend some of my colleagues, either from Center for Geostrategic Studies. We have colleagues for different countries, and or other colleagues from other centers. If you want to interview someone on some specific topic, you can. Always ask us. We will recommend someone. So this is
definitely. Thank you for the kind words, and I will definitely hit you up after we're done recording to connect me with some other people. In the meantime, everybody, look out for Schultz on Netflix soon. Also, you can now buy me a coffee. Everyone who's bought me a coffee, thank you. The Patreons, thank you too. Dragana Trifković, it's been an excellent 2 talks. We'll see you again soon.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Everyone, thank you for sticking around. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you soon.